This week's Parsha, in Parshas Bo, we come to the last three makos, the last three of the 10 plagues, and the Bnei Yisrael start getting ready to leave Mitzrayim, start to go out. And there's a mitzvah every single day for us to remember that Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. It's a mitzvah to the extent that there's a question, what's so special about the night of the Seder, that there's a mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim to talk about leaving Mitzrayim, if every single day of the year we have a mitzvah to remember leaving Mitzrayim. When do we fulfill this mitzvah? When's it built into our system of our day to remember that Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim? So at the end of Shema, in the third parsha of Shema, the chapter of Vayomer Hashem al Moshe Lemor, yetzias, at the very end we say, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am your God, Asher hotzesi eschem me'eretz Mitzrayim, that took you out of Egypt, lios lachem Elokim, to be to you a God. And at that point, the halacha tells us that we're supposed to concentrate on the mitzvah of remembering the exodus from Mitzrayim. So we study this pasuk for a moment, we see something very interesting. On one hand it says, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am your God that took you out of Mitzrayim. And the end of the pasuk says, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am your God. So why the repetition? We start off again, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, Asher hotzesi eschem me'eretz Mitzrayim, I am your God who took you out of Egypt, lios lachem le'elokim, to be a God to you. Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am your God. Why do we repeat these last three words, Ani Hashem Elokeichem? There's a fascinating insight given by Rav Schwab in his book on Tefillah, called Ian Tefillah, or in English, Rabbi Schwab on prayer, where he explains this at length. I'm going to try to say it over a little bit more concise way, and to see how it's practical. We say this all the time, about to say it again in Marav. We say it before we go to sleep, we say it in the morning, we should understand what we're saying. And he subsequently explains that this same idea that's being stressed with this repetition of Ani Hashem Elokeichem comes out in the continuation right after the Shema of Emes v'Yatziv v'Nachon v'Kayim v'Yoshev v'Neman. Sounds like all these praises to Hashem that we recite. He continues the theme straight through. So let's try to understand together. Let's learn this idea. He says as follows. He says that Hashem, throughout history, appeared to the Jewish people in two different ways. One is Gilui Shechina, that Hashem appears to us in a very revealed fashion. For sure, in the times of yetzias Mitzrayim, the plagues that we all saw and experienced, the Kriyas Yamsuf, next week's Parsha, levels of Gilui, of revelation of Hashem that no one ever experienced before, and culminating in the giving of the Torah, where Hashem actually spoke to us face to face. So this was an experience of Gilui Shechina. The word Shechina, he explains, is from the word Shachein, which means a neighbor, that it's very, very close to us. Hashem was super close to us, and we were able to experience His presence. But then there's another way that Hashem acts towards us, and that is Olam Kimin Hago Noheg, when the natural order of the world, we walked into Eretz Yisrael, after 40 years of the man in the desert, etc., we were experiencing Hashem in a very revealed fashion. We walked into regular day life. We came to Eretz Yisrael, and there was no more of these revealed miracles in such an extreme way. That's called Hester Panim. Hashem hides Himself, and the majority of Jewish history has been this way. Still, nowadays, many of us, all of us, get a little bit of a glimpse sometimes of, wow, look at the hashkacha, we see Hashem come out. But the majority of the time, we're not able to see Hashem in our everyday life. He explains with Schwab, this is what the Torah is teaching us. Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am your God, Asher hotzesicha me'eretz Mitzrayim, that took you out of Mitzrayim. Asher hotzesi eschem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lios lachem, to be a God to you. That is talking about the God that's the revealed God, the one that is so clear as a shechina, as a shachen, as a neighbor. It's so obvious to us that God is there. But that same God is Ani Hashem Elokeichem. I am that God when you don't see me so clearly. And that's what the pasuk is coming to tell us. And he continues. We say, Emes v'yatziv. Every single two words he explains as a pair, one to the other. So emes v'yatziv, what does that mean? Sorry. Emes v'yatziv. Emes means that it's true. It's clear. It's true Hashem is here. It's so clear. That's referring to the time when we have the Gilui Shechina, when Hashem is revealed to us. V'yatziv. Yatziv is the Aramaic translation of the word emes. In a time when we're in the Galus, we're speaking Aramaic, the Yatziv, it still stands. It still exists. Even in a time when it's not clear to us, we still hold true that Hashem is our God. V'nachon v'kayam. It is established and enduring. Nachon means it's clear, it's apparent, it's correct, 100%, no questions. That refers to the time when there's Gilui Shechina. When it's clear to us and Hashem is revealed. And v'kayam means that it's enduring and long-lasting, meaning even though it's not crystal clear right now, but it sticks. Even in the time when there's Hester Panim and we're not able to see it in the clear way. V'yashar v'neman. It's fair and faithful. Yashar means it's straight. Obvious. This is the way it is. No question that way, no question that way. It's all Yashar because we see clearly from Hashem. Yeah, it looks like something bad happened. That's Yashar. Hashem is doing it for a purpose. It's clear why He's doing it. It's so obvious. V'neman. In a time when Hashem is not clear to us, we believe. We believe still in Hashem, and therefore, even though we don't understand it, we don't see why this is Yashar. We don't see why this is straight. We don't see why these bad things might be getting us to the destination. But v'neman, we believe in it. V'ahuv, v'chaviv. Ahuv means that we're in love. Just like in the times of Matan Torah, when there was thunder and lightning and shofars, and it's like the scariest experience ever. What the Bnei Yisrael want? They want it to come closer. Because when you love someone, when you love something, all you want to do is get closer and closer and closer. V'ahuv, we're in love. That's referring to a time when there's a Gilui Shechina, when things are crystal clear. We see Hashem it's so obvious that we just love Him and want to come close to Him. V'chaviv. Chaviv is a lower level. Chaviv means it's cherished. We cherish it. We don't see it, so that love is not burning, it's not as strong, but still, we're chaviv. V'nechmad v'na'im. It's delightful and pleasant. Nechmad is like from the word chemda. Chemda is a strong desire. Eretz chemda tova archava. We desire Eretz Yisrael. We desire Hashem. Chemda. It's nechmad. In a time that we don't see it as clear, v'na'im. It's still pleasant. We still appreciate Hashem, but since we don't see Him as clearly, we don't have that ability to have that intense desire, that chemda for Hashem. V'nora v'adir. Nora, it's awesome, remarkable, absolutely incredible. That's when Hashem is clear to us. When He's not clear, when there's Hester Panim, so then it's adir. Hashem is powerful, but it's not awesome. Awesome is a whole new level. Tukan umekubal. He's correct and accepted. Mesukan means that it's correct, meaning that every single thing that happens, every single thing that we do, at the end of the day, it's so crystal clear why this fits into the Torah. We see it. Oh, there's this halacha, that fits right here into this pasuk. Oh, if you scramble the words over here, that's what it comes to tell you. Oh, the placement of this word over here in this pasuk is teaching us this halacha. Everything is mitukan. Everything is fixed and perfect and correct. And then there's mikubal, something that we accept. We can't see exactly how every single halacha necessarily fits into the Torah, but we accept that from the Chachamim that passed down the Masorah, and they're the closest to the source as possible, they're able to teach us, and we accept from them, that's mikubal. That's when it's a time of Hester Panim. V'tov v'yafeh. Tov. It's good. Crystal clear, good. That's when Hashem is super clear to us, and we experience Hashem in a revealed way. And then there's Yafeh. It's nice. It's nice. We appreciate it through our emunah. Like we said, the V'neman, we believe in it, we feel it, so it's nice, but it's not the same level as Tov. And then we conclude, Hadavar hazeh aleinu la'olam va'ed. We express that this idea that Ani Hashem Elokeichem, that Hashem is our God, even when there's Hester Panim, even when it's difficult, that's Hadavar hazeh aleinu la'olam va'ed. This applies forever, even when it's not crystal clear. He quotes from Rav Hirsch, that at the end of Chumash, Moshe Rabbeinu is giving a speech to Bnei Yisrael. They're about to go into mitzrayim. They're about to go into Eretz Yisrael. Moshe is about to die, right? And Moshe is preparing them for the transition into everyday normal life. And he says, Atem ri'isem es kol asher asa Hashem le'einechem be'eretz Mitzrayim. You saw with your own eyes everything that happened in Eretz Mitzrayim. Hamasos hagdalos asher u'einacha, and the traveling that we had in the midbar and everything that we experienced. V'alicheschem arba'im shana b'midbar, Hashem took us through. And he concludes, Laman tedu ki ani Hashem Elokeichem. It was coming to, all of this was so you know that Ani Hashem Elokeichem, that I am God, I am your God. So Hirsch points out that Moshe is talking now, not Hashem. Moshe should have said, Laman tedu, that you should know, ki Hashem Elokeichem, that Hashem is your God. Why does he say Ani Hashem Elokeichem? Explains Rav Hirsch that he's coming to teach us, he's referring us back to this parsha of Shema. That all of those incredible things that you experienced in Mitzrayim, through the 40 years in the desert, all of that was so that you realize Ani Hashem Elokeichem. That when we go into Eretz Yisrael, and it's not going to be all of these clear revelations of Hashem, but still, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, you should realize that I am still your God, I am still here, I still have this relationship with you. This is a very important lesson. We say it all the time. Now we could hopefully have this in our minds when we say our Shema. But this is an important lesson in our everyday lives. On twofold. First of all, life is hard. Bottom line. It's difficult. Everyone has challenges. Everyone has to work through things. Everyone wants to accomplish so much, but there are a million things in our ways. We're in a galus. There's difficulties. There's falsity. There's sheker. There's so much around us that we need to push through. And very often we forget. We forget where we're going. We forget why we're doing it. We forget that Hashem is on our side and allowing us to do it. Hashem is putting us in our position right now in order for us to be successful. We forget. So it's important to remember that the same Hashem Elokeichem, the same Ani Hashem Elokeichem that took us out of Mitzrayim, that our ancestors saw crystal clear Hashem, the whole world saw it. It's still Ani Hashem Elokeichem now, even when things are difficult. And Hashem is there, Hashem is by our side. We have to appreciate that, we have to believe in it, we have to love it, and that has to give us a boost moving forward. That's one. Two, is like I said earlier, every single one of us, at some points in our lives, get like a little bit of a glimpse. Hashem gives us a little bit of a present, like, wow, that is unbelievable. I can't believe this happened to me. That was clear a message from Hashem. We all have it at some point. The problem is that comes and goes and it's over. And we don't hold on to that inspiration. We don't hold on to that love. We don't hold on to that feeling, that emotion that we experienced at that time. So, when things get a little bit more difficult, and we get back into the darkness, we get back into the grind, so then we forget that Ani Hashem Elokeichem. It's super duper important that any time that we ever have that experience, any time we're feeling the love, any time that we're feeling the bracha from Hashem, and we see it, we should let other people know about it, we should write it down, we should make sure that we hold on to it super duper tight. And therefore, when we hit other difficult times, when Hashem is not as clear, but we remember, oh yeah, but He gave me that, He gave me that thing, He put me in that position, He gave me that relationship, He gave me that success, He gave me that upbringing, whatever it is that I had, He gave it to me. And therefore, I'm able to then tap into that and move forward. And that's what the pasuk is saying. The pasuk doesn't say, Ani Hashem Elokeichem. Hashem keeps on stressing, Ani Hashem Elokeichem asher hotzeisi eschem me'eretz Mitzrayim. I'm the one that took you out of Mitzrayim. How did Aseret Dibros start? Anochi Hashem Elokecha. I am your God asher hotzeisicha me'eretz Mitzrayim. Hashem keeps on referring back to that experience, to that revelation that we all saw it, we all knew it. That was there for a purpose. It was there for afterwards, Ani Hashem Elokeichem. It was there for when it's not going to be so clear, and it's harder, and we're going back into Eretz Yisrael, into the normal way of life. But if we could tap into what was, then we're able to live with Hashem in a very, very strong way moving forward. So a bracha to all of us is that we should all be able to recognize every time that Hashem gives us this kiss, every time that Hashem allows us to be successful in a way we never would have thought, like, wow, that was a present from Hashem. That we're able to recognize it, we're able to keep it, put it in our pocket, keep it in our internal self, so that it never leaves. And then Be'ezus Hashem, anytime we have difficulties, anytime we have challenges, anytime we're not feeling Hashem around us at that moment, we're able to tap into it and remind ourselves that Ani Hashem Elokeichem, Hashem is our God, still with us, still connected us, still loves us, still wants to have that relationship with us every single day, and that will allow us to continue to become close to Him, grow with Him, learn with Him, and be able to be successful in everything that we do in our lives. Shavua Tov.